final.
Come, championship bound, baby! Woo! Big love, baby! Woo! Here, man. It got a little crazy out there, but we made it through.
We're gonna keep stacking the day, so see you in the championship.
Bow! Let's go!
June 17th wasn't just another game, it was time for payback. Remember May 30th when J.C. Sheldon and the Connecticut Sun left Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson injured on the court? When those dirty plays went unpunished, the Indiana Fever remembered everything. And when Sheldon poked Caitlin Clark directly in the eye during the rematch, something snapped. What happened next showed exactly why you don't mess with Clark's teammates. Because Sophie Cunningham was about to deliver one of the most satisfying flagrant fouls you've ever seen. If you support the Fever, comment below CC and Spicy Sophie. Let's go.
It was chippy the last time these two teams faced off too. Sophie Cunningham suffered her ankle injury in that game, but in addition to that, she actually had part of her front tooth knocked out. She made contact with J.C. Sheldon as Caitlin Clark knocks down the triple.
But what people don't talk about enough is how hard you have to work to be able to be that good. All the hours that she's spent perfecting her craft.
Retreating, firing, and hitting.
So she can do that.
On Indiana arguing the call.
I mean, step back, you're late. She almost looks you in the eye.
Picture this. May 30th, Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun. And everything went wrong for the Fever in the worst possible way. The game started normally enough, just another matchup between two WNBA teams battling for position. But the Sun came out with a level of physicality that crossed the line from competitive to dangerous. You could feel the tension building from the opening tip.
Can we talk about the physicality for a second? Two players on the Indiana Fever got injured last night by the same player on the Connecticut Sun, and that was J.C. Sheldon. And I tweeted about it. She was playing so reckless. I'm fine with players playing aggressive, but there is a thin line between playing aggressive and playing reckless. When you dive for a ball, you don't land on somebody's leg. She landed on top of Sydney Colson's leg, and her leg got stuck and literally twisted around. Both injuries, both Sydney Colson and Sophie Cunningham, were contact.
Sophie Cunningham went down first after what appeared to be a delay.
They weren't non-contact. They weren't ACLs, they weren't Achilles, they were contact injuries caused by the same player. And this kind of physicality that the WNBA they brag about. They say it's always been a physical league. That's just the heart of the It's not good basketball. And we've seen so many injuries. Paige Becker's out with a concussion. Rakia Jackson was out with a concussion. All of these injuries are contact plays. We've seen Caitlin Clark last year get chucked to the ground. We saw Angel Reese get clothesline chucked to the ground. The players continue to do it because the refs are allowing them. Why wouldn't you keep doing it if you're a physical?
Here's where the college history comes into play. Sheldon and Clark have been going at each other since their Iowa versus Ohio State days. Back in college, Sheldon made it her mission to get under Clark's skin every time they faced each other on the court. She would shadow Clark everywhere, bump her on screens, and talk trash during dead balls. This wasn't just basketball anymore. This had become personal. Her mortal enemy.
Her mortal enemy took out a player. J.C. Sheldon. Caitlin Clark's mortal enemy.
Referees that May Day seemed to let everything slide, like they were watching a completely different game than everyone else. Hard foul.
The referees then seemed to let everything slide, as if they were watching a completely different game from everyone else. Hard fouls went uncalled. Dangerous plays were ignored. Clark had to watch her teammates get injured while Sheldon walked away without even a warning from the officials. The frustration continued to build with every possession. The Fever fought hard but ultimately lost the game 85-83. More importantly, they lost two key players to injuries that might have been prevented if the officials had properly controlled the game. Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson were hurt, and her absence would be felt in the games that followed.
This is reckless. It is dangerous. And this angle makes it look even worse. It is dangerous. Like, Sid Colson is between her and the ball. Sid Colson is in fact between J.C. Sheldon and the ball, and she dives through her knee. It wasn't even called as a foul. The
game begins with that familiar tension hanging in the air. Sheldon's guarding Clark like her life depends on it, getting far too close for comfort. She's shadowing Clark on every possession, bumping her on screens, and doing all the little things that make basketball ugly. This is the same aggressive style that injured Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson back in May. Everyone in the arena can feel what's coming. The third quarter arrives, and here comes the moment that changes everything. Clark is bringing the ball up the court when Sheldon steps in to defend her. She goes for what appears to be a steal attempt, but her finger goes directly into Clark's eye. The contact is immediate and obvious. You can see Clark's head snap back from the impact.
She just texts me. She never texts me during the game.
All right. Here is Clark splashing home a three from way downtown. Kelly escorting her back to the bench.
JC Sheldon is there with her hand in her
Clark immediately grabs her face, and you can see the pain and anger mixing together as she realizes what just happened. She's squinting, trying to clear her vision, but you know she's thinking about more than just the physical pain. This wasn't an accident. This was the same player who had hurt her teammates, now coming after her with the same aggressive tactics that went unpunished before. Clark does what any competitor would do. She pushes back, literally pushing Sheldon away after getting poked in the eye. It's a natural reaction when someone has just jabbed a finger into your eye socket. Anyone would react the same way. The crowd erupts because everyone saw what really happened. But somehow the referees are about to make this entire situation even worse.
and Caitlin Clark are talking to the official. They're both going at it saying, hey, oh, there's a little extra right there. Uh-oh. Then Marina steps in to protect JC.
Clark is standing there holding her eye, clearly the victim of a dangerous play. But the officials are reaching for their whistles. The arena is buzzing with confusion and anger. Fans are pointing at the replay boards, showing the obvious eye poke that started everything. But the referees have already made up their minds. They hit Clark with a technical foul for pushing back after getting poked in the eye. A technical foul for defending herself after someone poked her in the eye. The decision made absolutely no sense to anyone watching. Clark had just scored 32 points in her first game back from injury, and now she's being penalized for reacting after getting poked in the eye by the same player who had hurt her teammates. The technical foul sent the wrong message to everyone watching. It tells players that they can make dangerous plays against Clark, and if she reacts, she'll be the one who gets punished. But this eye poke was only the beginning. Marina Mabrey was watching everything unfold, and she was about to take things to a whole different level.